Okay. Good morning. We are starting our compliance and command, and I'm going to give you the whole picture of how it will work, and then we'll dig into what your questions are, because there are sort of different stages. So anyway, thank you for coming. And okay, do you have a Mac or a PC? Okay, but you're comfortable. I mean, you know your Mac, right? Okay, Ashley has a PC. And the reason I ask is because I don't know any tricks to making Macs work, and so I feel bad when somebody with a Mac is like, but it doesn't work the same, and I'm
Right.
like, so anyway, I need to recruit somebody that feels very comfortable, that's really Mac savvy. So big picture is Command is built for you to do your whole real estate business through one login. Everything you need to do. Market, advertise, keep your database, communicate with your database, keep track of your pipeline. So that's the end goal, and they're developing all the apps to support that. So Diamond, because I know you've been in, Ashley probably hasn't been in at all since she's brand new. Have you, tell me where you've gone in Command? Just contacts?
Just contacts, really.
Okay, that's the starting point. That's perfectly fine.
Okay.
So I'm gonna switch the camera to be just the screen so that the people watching can really see what's going on up there. I'm gonna suggest, well, first I'd like to have you watch the screen, and then we're definitely getting into your command logins. So I've already logged in, but I'll log out and start again just to see the whole process. Okie doke. So I'm going into Chrome, and then we had saved this shortcut to get to the command login, agent.kw.com, and here we go. So here's my login. I have one son's name and birth year as my Gmail login, and the other son's name and birth year as my KW login. So I was like, okay, which son? So landing page of Command. And just while we're here, I think this is pretty cool. I had set up, I had added Pete to a smart plan, which is a checklist of to-dos. It could be calling, visiting, mailing, emailing. The what could be anything, but I want to get some consistency in my business, so I'm gonna endeavor to do the same things, repeatedly. I'm not, because it's so easy to say, okay, it's January, I am fired up, I'm gonna call all my database every quarter. And you might the first quarter. And then the spring season comes and it'll be busy and exciting, and you stop calling, So anyway, smart plans. So I had put Pete on this quarterly call smart plan. So when I open up Command, I get reminders. So I want to just for grins show you, okay, I've highlighted the smart plan title, and it said, okay, here it is. So I'm just gonna, let's see, if I click on it, okay, there we go. And here it is. Now my options, I have to select, you're about to complete this task. Did the contact answer your call? And I'm going to be honest and say no. And I'm going to say, need to to call again in a week. And I'm gonna say completed the task. So it changed to completed, and it will not be on my dashboard tomorrow. Anyway, just demonstrating a tool for you. So if you haven't learned this small tip, when you put your cursor over the red KW in the upper left corner, it reveals what are these icons, what do they represent? So there you go. We're not going to go over contacts today because that's not our topic today. So I'm going to go straight to opportunities. I have to not click on the word opportunities, I have to click on the icon. So there we go. And Pete has gone over this in some other classes where the design of this page is that once you have added everything you got going on, which actually, I apologize, is Zippo at this moment, but Diamond, right now, how many sellers and buyers are you working with? Lisa? Good.
3 sellers and 2 buyers.
Okay. So just imagine if we added all that, so when we create an opportunity that's like this, I am working with an individual that has said, I want to buy or sell. And depending on where you are with them, with this program, you can put them at whatever phase of the journey they're at, and in the details of the opportunity, you give it a dollar value, potential dollar value, and where it is. So once you load those, you stand back and go, oh, if all 3 buyers close, I have the potential of earning, whatever, and this with your buyers. So can you imagine, as we get into this, what a kind of keeping it on track, and they took, so talk to me. Can you imagine that?
Yes.
I mean, would it be insightful to come in and look at this and go, oh, I mean, you know how we carry everything in our heads.
Right, yeah.
So I had a bunch of dummy opportunities in here and I took them out, but anyway, this allows you to look at, gee, where is my business relative to my goals? So the Louisa said that an opportunity is an opportunity to make money. So we create one to keep an eye on that possible transaction. So I'm not gonna do that. So I have one, but I'm gonna create one as if it is a, hold on, I'm gonna show you this one that I have in here. So we can talk about the uploading your documents. So let me go back to this page. Create an opportunity. That's our official Keller Williams office name, and we're saying it's a listing. The client has to already be in your database. Don't despair if you haven't put them in there. You can create a contact with just their name if you want to. Easy peasy. But if I were to type Sam Smith. Nope, it wants to pick my friend Elisa Smith Heath. You got to have that client in there. So let's. Oh, it's not going to be Elisa. I'm going to say Diamond. There you are, because you're in. Nuts. There you are. Okay, now we're going to pretend like I have a listing, Diamond's my client, and we're under contract. So I just want to upload my loop documents in here. I'm skipping ahead to that point because I want to cover this, and then we can go back in and fill in the gaps of, well, why did you start at that point? We'll do that.
That's what I'm here for today. I was watching the video about that, but I got a little bit confused when we got to the uploading of the document.
Okay. Well, we'll get to it.
Okay.
Okay. Louisa, when we create a loop in .loop, how have I taught you to? Hi, Natalie.
Hi,
How have I taught you to name the loop? What do we name it with?
You can name it with the property address, which is easier.
Yes, the property address, because the MCA office and the closing attorney, they track transactions by the property address. So we try to make it easy for them. I mean, we just start that way. Now, if you have a buyer and you're just getting started with them, of course, you don't have a property address. So you start off with just their name, but then we want you, once you're under contract, to change it to the property address. So Diamond, believe me, I can archive this opportunity, but tell me what your home address is.
5100 Rosestone.
One or two words.
One word. Drive. Milburn. 30047.
Okay. So the system auto names it client's last name hyphen whatever transaction it is. And I'll show you your choices at this juncture are listing, buyer, landlord, tenant. They will be adding things like referral, commercial, farm, land, that sort of thing is coming. Okay, so I let it, do its Blackman hyphen listing thing, and then I added her street address. Custom tags, I like to get to later because that's not essential for right now. The okay, I have a pre-populated 300. I'm making up numbers here. The default commission rate, and this is only for your side of the transaction, and the reason is so that when you, let's say we're under contract, we're not closed yet. When I go to this dashboard, I want that number over on the right to represent the potential income that this transaction represents. So it's helpful to go ahead and, at this point you could put the list price, and I will tell you that in this commission rate, you are not allowed to go change it below 1%. I don't know why. This is not, so the only time that has kind of presented an issue was when somebody was selling their own home. They didn't intend to take a commission, and they didn't know how to deal with it. So in the short term, leave it at 3%, and then when it comes time to actually turning in your commission paperwork, that's when you can say 0. So anyway, so we're creating an opportunity, and the assumption is that let me, see if I can move, no, can't move that. The 5 phases of a transaction. Cultivate is, we're trying to get them to agree to an appointment, basically, listing appointment, buyer consultation. So cultivate encompasses all of the nurturing, cultivating, marketing, taking them to lunch, whatever it takes to get to agree to an appointment, a brokerage, you want to do a brokerage appointment. So that's cultivate. Then, so the appointment is, remember from Ignite, those who've been to Ignite, with the funnel, it's leads and then appointments. That's what because you can do something once they sign some sort of brokerage agreement. You can have a transaction, but as long as you're still just talky, you're not getting to the closing table. So appointment, very critical phase. And then once they've signed a brokerage agreement, you go to work. And you're in the active phase, and you do whatever it calls for. Eventually, magic moment, you're under contract. That's then the whole litany of to-dos once you reach that point, and eventually close. So we have cultivate, appointment. Hi, Sydney! So glad you're here. Hadn't seen you in forever. Cultivate, appointment, active, under contract, close. So, I don't exactly know why, but at this juncture, the Austin command gods decided that when you first create an appointment, it's got to go in one of the first 3 phases. Not a big deal if you're already under contract, because I'm going to show you how easy it is to move it. So just don't let it freak you out. It defaults to cultivate, which is the first phase. Not to worry. And then within each of those, hey Ashley, we have our second Ashley. Ashley, this is another Ashley. Hi Ashley. Yeah.
So Stacy, if we are on the contract, it's active?
No.
Or leave it in cultivate?
Well, what I was saying is I don't know why they don't give you the opportunity to just go directly into under contract. So I would say choose active, but then we're going to move it to under contract. It's okay. Within the 5 phases, you can have different stages. For instance, you are under contract and you have a buyer. What's the first thing you're going to deal with? The earnest money, right? Okay, girls, come on. So, like in mine, I created an earnest money stage, and then the due diligence stage. And I can, if I want to, actually add the steps that I do. Imagine that we all have so much business that we need to hire an assistant. Okay? Right, Lee? You need to hire an assistant. Lee is an assistant. So, and guess what do you need to do? You need to write down how you do everything so that it's consistently done, So you have an opportunity to do that in opportunities so that you don't forget, I forgot to call the lender. I'll show you. I'm going to show you that right next. So because we're under contract, we're like Siggy suggested, we're going to pick the active phase. Let's see what my choices are here. I've got I'm going to say negotiations.
But it's already under contract.
I know. Today, the command gods in Austin decided that the starting point would be before under contract. Watch how I move forward. Okay? Creating the opportunity. Ta-ta! The first thing it'll do is open up the details card. Every time you see a a display like this. They refer to them as cards. But I'm gonna pause and go back to the dashboard to show you how we're gonna move it into under contract. So it's in active, we started there. I click on the icon and then, oh, here it is. So, I could swing this baby anywhere I wanted to, whee! And not to make you dizzy. And in fact, I can zing, drop. Where did she go? Well, if I click on wherever it's underlined, that's the phase you're in. So I'm gonna click on under contract, and there she is. Whee! So, I have, sorry, gotta go down here. So I created due diligence, inspections, appraisal, financing, and clear to close.
You created?
Yes, let me show you how.
I did. It didn't let me get to this stage. It's. I had to put my contact.
Yes, you missed that point. You have to create a contact. Your client has to be in your database. All you have to add is their name. Save. It's not, but it is a requirement to create an opportunity.
Just a name.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No email.
If that's all you want. Mm-hmm.
So I cannot import it?
Oh, yeah. We will talk about that afterwards. That's okay.
So sorry, Stacy, I got lost. How did you get there? When you changed the status to under contract?
How did I get there? When I created it, we chose active, correct? And
okay.
we chose active and negotiations. Remember, at the bottom of the create opportunity pop-up. And I want to show you first, and then I want you to do. Okay? So it was here, I was in the active opportunity, and I wanted to jump because I am already under contract. You just drag and drop. And then now I want to go to this, and there it is. All right, so that's how we get to under contract. Start in active, drag and drop. All right, how do we upload our documents? We click on the name of the opportunity to open up this page. I'll give you a hint. In Command, anytime they want you to click on something to navigate, it's gonna be in this color, okay? Notice how the underline here is that color. That is in that color. The clickable, their version of hyperlink, or here's where you go, they always put in the teal color. Let's say that I spot an error on this page. All through Command, they give you this pencil for editing. It's wonderful. They give you lots of opportunities. So I'm going to click that and go, you know, I don't want to be, well, I'm going to pick a different, I'm going to say we're already in inspections, just for grins. Ooh, I have an opportunity if I wanted to. And the idea is once everybody is fully using Command, which I wouldn't expect to be until DocuSign is fully, got the GAR forms in it.
When is that going to be?
They're telling us mid-November.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's what the holdup is getting the GAR forms in there. Well, it's a big argument, but it's in process. I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, we're going to close on October 25th. Our contract date, which is our binding agreement date, I'm gonna say is today. We haven't closed yet, so I'm not gonna do that. All
So
right.
contract date could be different than binding. So here it's binding.
I don't know if any other state uses the expression binding agreement date the way Georgia does. That's what our contracts say. When I look at forms from other states, they call it the contract date. So we can ask them, give us the option of changing the terminology because we call it a binding agreement date. But
But because
for now,
Yeah.
they equal. And I think this is the same on green sheets, that they say contract date, and that's the binding agreement date. So, remember these people are in Texas, so what can I say? All right. So, I want to upload documents. I'm going to work left to right across the page. I'm going to just click on documents. And when I did that, I don't know if you saw that the word turned teal. Okay. Little explanation first. There are, and sorry, sip. For those that I have taught in Ignite, setting up your loops, I have encouraged you to have a folder for your brokerage docs. That's, listing agreement, anything that's attached to the listing agreement, and a separate folder for your contract docs. So, and then, at the end, when you have a closing and you come in here, you have a paper copy of a settlement statement and you have a commission check. What do we do with those? Anybody? Y'all in close? What do you do with the commission check? What do you do with the settlement statement? Now,
Upload it and.
upload the settlement statement, put it in your loop, and we turn in the check. Okay. So let me show you how. Same principles in Command. This section is listed. This would be your brokerage docs, listing agreement, disclosures that go, and the affiliated marketing and the wire fraud.
Is this the same for buyers? Like if you're doing?
Almost.
Okay.
It's the same that you have 3 steps. You have your brokerage docs, your contract docs, and then close, which is the settlement statement.
What I meant by that is, it says listed here, if you were helping a buyer, where
Can I show you when I
after
finish
this?
this?
Okay,
Mhm.
okay.
Because it's important to see. Yes, that some of the terminology does change. We are creating a listing, so at
Right.
least it's correct for that. But no, my first thing I wanted to know is, what about buyers? Okay, so I don't have a doc, a PDF to upload, but so easy. You click and click for this, and you go into your downloads, which I don't have one, and boom, once it adds it, it assigns it. I don't know why it says assign, but I guess it's assigning it to that slot. So let me stop here for a second and notice up here there's 0 of 7 documents uploaded. These documents, some are required, some are conditionally required. So do not stress. For instance, community association disclosure. There may not be one,
Right.
So if you were to upload your listing docs and you don't have all of them, you'll get a little message here. Let's say it just says 3 of 7. Do not stress, it's okay. It's just helping you keep track of where you are. It's not saying you have to upload all 7 of these, okay? Notice this little love note. This is the corporate policy. We haven't always done that because we're so busy getting it done, but that is that's our target. Okay, let's say your seller's done a bunch of renovation and they produce one of those lists of updates or rooms that they've renovated and stuff like that, which is lovely to have with your listing so that buyers can see the value of the, what do you call that when you have a heated floor? It's a
Heated floor.
no, but there's another technical term. But anyway, so and it's not on this list. Well, that's not a GAR form. So the recommendation is that here in this residential section, this is really for GAR forms or market center specifically required forms like the affiliated marketing disclosure. And when you have those extras, that you put them in custom folders. I'm gonna create one and I'm just gonna say you name it what you want, property info docs. Click, and then I can let's see, open this. Now I can add a document. Notice it's teal, and I'm gonna access it. I've got it on my computer. Name it. It's the same process. So GAR forms and .loop forms up here, non.loop, personalized forms, like your inspection report. When you get one inspection report, I'd be putting it down there because that's not something you're going to submit to Lynn for review, right? Okay. Back up here. So these are listing things. Once I add something, this submit to market center would turn teal, and I could click on that and say, okay, I've taken a listing.
For each one? For each document?
No, well, typically you wouldn't until you finish. Yeah, pardon. Jackson 5. Just saying. Okay, so that's, let's pause. Quickly do okay, we'll just quickly create a buyer opportunity. There she is. No way. He doesn't get to come to our party. Whoops.
So the best way to call it is first the name of the customer and then the address?
Okay, look up here. I didn't do that. The system says customer last name hyphen, what kind of transaction is it? Then you add the street address if you know it. So Matali, your home address please, because we're already under contract.
313 Winfield Estates, Winfield Estates Drive.
Oh.
And that's in Rossall. 30075.
There we go. All right, we're not going to do that, but we'll do.
What's the custom tax?
Okay.
Do $4 million. It's a fake thing. Make me rich.
No problem. Custom tags. There are two types of tags in Command. Tags to identify your contacts, and you may have people with a similar interest, or I've got my entire high school class in there because I organize the reunions. So I have Westminster 77 as a tag that I created. And that's more for the marketing part of it, to identify if you want to do a sub. Opportunity tags, the way I've seen it done Let's say you create a custom tag that just says 2019. And all the transactions you do in this, so think, how would I like to sort my transactions in the future, looking back? So you might create one for each year. You might create one, let's say you only do business in Roswell and Alpharetta. You might create Roswell, you might create Alpharetta, so that, it's kind of for business analysis. So it's your choice how you don't have to do it all.
That's
Or
nice.
you can think, I'm gonna do it by year for sure, at a minimum, and then I might even do 2019 buyers and 2019 sellers, so that then you can look back and sort. That's the purpose. Does that make sense?
Yeah. How many tags can you give it?
I do not know, no idea if there's a limit. You don't really create them here. I'll show you, remind me to show you where it's best to create them. Okay, I'm gonna again say I'm going straight into active.
What's the time frame?
Let's say that this is a buyer, they said they wanna buy, but I need to know that it's gonna be a year out. So let's see what these choices are. So this is less about transactions and more about what's the time frame for this new client. Okay. Okay, don't know why that's searching, but I'll say, we're in the showing. Okay, create an opportunity. I'm gonna go back out here to show you, and here, okay, this is the new one that I just created. Notice I don't click on the number, I click on the icon. And here she is. So, let's click into the teal colored name of the opportunity to get in here, and I'll click on documents because I want to do some upload. Oh, and you get an error. A second ago I was getting kind of a warning, so let me tell you, whenever you get in some kind of thing, error message, refresh your screen, the circular thing up here, and I'm telling you, at least 70% of the time, clears it right up, okay? So, when you get the spiral of death going around, click this, and here we are. So, notice, before it was a listing, now it's, because we didn't have a listing appointment, we had a buyer consultation. And so here are the documents. Right now, the only required ones are the buyer, and you want to let me go up, the buyer brokerage agreement, affiliated marketing disclosure, and the wire fraud disclosure. And these three are all required. Does that make sense to everybody?
One question. With the customer disclosures about radon, about all of that, do we include that in a miscellaneous file?
Here's my
Your recommendation.
Here's see this black button up here. That actually is my access to DocuSign, because I've created my DocuSign account. And if you come back Friday, we're gonna teach and record a class on how to do that. The GAR forms aren't there yet, but we can create the account and sort of get used to navigating DocuSign. So when you go into DocuSign, instead of creating a loop, you go in, you create a room.
No.
And guess what? Because I first started with an opportunity, as soon as I click to go into here, all right, so just watch. Go in. Have to sign in. Click. Please wait to do this. Did I use that one? Yes. Okay. Good. Notice. Okay. Stop these pop-ups. Command already labeled my room in DocuSign so you don't have to do that. Yay! So that's one step saved. So, Louisa, in DocuSign, just like in .loop, that's where, yes, we're gonna download those consumer protection brochures, but we don't need to put those in Command, because remember, what we're putting in Command, and in actuality, once this has got the GAR forms and everything, you can put those list of improvements in DocuSign. They're going to be options. Putting things in Command is more for, again, think a year from now, you want to look back and you don't want to look at those consumer protection things, you know. You need to send them, but you don't need to save them in Command.
Okay.
So it's the actual contract docs, whether it's a brokerage agreement or a real contract. And so, does that make
The
sense?
transaction-related documents are gonna be the only one required in Command.
Right. You can add anything you want in a miscellaneous folder, but that's not the main thrust of
Okay.
what you do in opportunities. All right, so I know it's tempting to try to jump into here, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going back to Command. All right, let's say I'm going to go back and move the Mitali. No, I can't do that. I have to go in, and I'm going to move her to under contract. All right, ooh, disappeared from active, but if I click on under contract, there she is. All right, I'm going to open this. I'm going to click documents, and okay, so it comes up the same. It's under, I have to select, show me the list of docs required when I'm under contract. Now, see the teal line on the left, and when I highlight this, it's teal. I go here, click, and the little line, I'm trying to just visually orient you. So over here, the usual suspects, purchase and sale, counter, if there is a counter, the condominium thing, if it's a condo, some sort of legal description, the usual suspects.
The stuff you don't need, like say it's not a condo, can you archive it?
No, but you don't need to here. First of all, notice that it's not required, it's conditionally required.
Right.
Once you upload, once you upload,
whatever you need, that'll go away.
right, then we're going to click this submit to MCA, and yeah, this is a good point. This is a good place to go over this. Click submit to Market Center. Ellie takes a look to see what's missing, but then Lynn takes a look to really look at the contract details and make sure they're not blanks and that you filled things out appropriately. Now, while we still have .loop, Lynn still has the ability to continue doing her compliance reviews in .loop and, tag you, or is that what they do? What do we call those things? When Lynn sends you a little note in your loop? Okay, tags. So for right this minute, that's what she's doing, even though we're still uploading here into Command. There will be a time, and I don't know when exactly, that she's going to stop doing it in .loop and only do it here. So get them in here. So you submit that, and it goes back, and either Ellie or Lynn can look at it, and she will open document by document. It pops up on the screen, and look to see, you know, all the pages. They have two choices, accept or reject. But if they reject, a pop-up comes and you have to say why. Missing, you know, didn't check a box under item 10 in the purchase and sale. Just like she does now, you know, those kind of. It will come back, so once we submit it, this wording will change to submitted. Comes back and it'll either be green accepted or red rejected. So then we come back over here and we'll have the options to replace the file with a corrected one, you know, specific, and so each one that you submit, you'll get a vote on, accepted, rejected, and you'll, obviously if it's accepted, move on. If it's rejected, you click to open it and go what it is, and because they want to keep, you're not going to go back into that document and correct it. You're going to submit a corrected version.
When it comes back rejected, would it highlight what's missing, or will
Yes,
you
when
find it
when
out?
they choose, if they choose rejected instead of accepted, they get a pop-up window and they have to say why. They have to spell out what the problem is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it will save the rejected and the new one?
When you, let's say we're at that point and you're gonna add a file and okay, so you're gonna submit an updated version. I mean, this is the point when you'll just go back into .loop or DocuSign. You'll modify the document, download it. So currently we have to download it so we can upload it here. And it's so you haven't written a completely new document, but you have a new version of it, right? Let's say you know where the lead-based paint and you didn't say whether the house was or wasn't built prior to 1978. So all you do is you go back to wherever you created the form, filled out the form, correct it. Of course, don't want to wipe out signatures. And download that, upload it here, and when you then you submit only what you need to submit, it comes over, it changes to purple, which is a replaced document. Anyway, they have this color coding system so that it's easy to spot, oh, this was a correction, I'm gonna knock those out first. And so your goal is that accepted, whichever ones you submit. So you have that dialogue back and forth. So you do keep resubmitting your correct, you know, in .loop right now, we don't do that. I mean, we fix it, but we don't resubmit it. With this system, we're gonna resubmit. And you wanna be all green.
If we did something by mistake, is there a place to archive it?
Yes. If at this point, when you're uploading, and let's say you just uploaded it in the wrong spot, and you haven't submitted it to the, you know, you're at the very beginning?
Yeah.
Yes, you will have,
The edit.
there'll be 3 dots and you can, you know, delete it. You can absolutely delete anything you've done. Once you've submitted it though, back there, all you just replace. You can say, oh, I'm gonna replace this document with the correct one.
Okay, and how these show up as default, the purchase and sale counter offer, is there the exclusive agreement, the wire fraud, and the marketing by
Without-
default? Sorry, is that not in this class?
No, this is what we did first.
Oh, I came in late, maybe I missed.
No, we just did this a second ago. When we first opened here, and it's, okay, so this, we're at the buyer consultation, here we go, buyer brokerage.
Oh, by brokerage, I see it, sorry.
Then when it's under contract, you click on under contract
Got
to
it.
reveal those. And then eventually when we're closed, ta-ta, and
There.
that's where we upload the settlement statement. This is something the office does, you know, for FMLS. We don't do this. And this is supposed to have a little,
Sorry, Stacy, I didn't know that the office is the one that does it. I did it myself on my last closing.
you are responsible for updating Georgia MLS. But FMLS will not accept it from the agent because they want their FMLS fee check.
Oh, but they did. I submitted it by email and everything, and they changed the status.
If they changed it, it's because the office also did it.
Okay, but, you know,
So there's no green sheet?
Hold on, I haven't done that step. This last one, agent owner letter, only if it's your personal residence, not an investment property, but a residence, there is this, I don't think it's a 116, you can get out of paying the FMLS fee. No more than 2 times in a given year, when you buy or sell your personal residence.
Oh, nice.
And I've done that.
That's
Me
amazing.
too.
I didn't know that. That's good information.
Yep, comes in handy. Okay, let's then, so that's kind of the process. You know, you have your brokerage, in this case is a buyer brokerage. You get your contract docs, and then you have your settlement statement. Notice in the under contract, it doesn't call for you to ever upload any amendments. So apparently that is, you know, and even now when we draft amendments, we don't submit them to Lynn for review. They're gonna be reviewed by, you know, the closing attorney, and I think that's the thinking is that's, anyway, so it doesn't cycle back.
Yeah, but it's strange. Some amendments are to change closing date. I mean, she needs to know that.
Well, no, but she really doesn't. Her job is to keep us out of direct jail. The closing, who cares about the closing date? It's more the lender and the closing attorney. And because now, at this point, they're, you know, I mean, you can't just willy-nilly change the sales price, change the closing date without their buy-in. You know, the lender and the closing attorney, you know, you're sort of at their mercy at that point. So, anyway, so I just want to point that out. Now, so where's this wonderful green sheet thing coming
so
in?
one question, I see that it says add item, where it says under contract next to it, you see, right there? So you can add any, you can add any document, I think, in
Yeah.
the name, so.
Okay.
Yes, that option is there.
So for the amendments or whatever, maybe we can create.
Okay. Remember, you're gonna do all that eventually in DocuSign. So it's gonna be there in DocuSign. Hey, Rashad. Hey, it's just us girls. They wanted to, you know, they had to give the option of adding something that, oh, we forgot to put on the list. And, you know, the list will change over time as the new GAR forms come out. For instance, we don't have on here, oh no, we do, closing attorney to serve as earnest money holder. You know, there's bound to be something that we have left out of the typical, except for amendments, of the typical forms. I mean, we took our best guess at which forms that we use regularly, but we may have to add something, you know, and until we, the office, add it to the template, you may need to have the ability to add it yourself. So that's where this add item would be handy. If it's something that, you know.
So I have a question. I need to create all the documents in .loop, and then after
Yes.
I have them signed and everything, I just upload in here.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so this is not ready for prime time, but remember how back at the details on this card, you know, we didn't, ooh, Natalie, I'm gonna make a great commission off the sale of your home. I'm going to, just like on green sheets, that, you know, they ask a bunch of questions. What's the closing date? All these things. You still have to provide that information at some point. But if I go to the trouble of, let's see, filling in some of these. Okay, we put today. All right, let's see. Now,
It will
Okay.
save it.
so I've done my documents, now we're definitely at the compliant, so now we're in the sort of contract to close. The way they designed it is that you add an offer and then accept the offer, and that auto creates your green sheet. In my opinion, this makes perfect sense when you're talking about a listing and seems really odd when you're working with a buyer. You're the one making the offer.
So you would put your
What do you
purchase and sale
add?
agreement.
So, let me demonstrate. Yeah, what color is this? It's teal. I mean, I'm calling it teal, it could be something else officially. Add a new offer, initial offer. Let's say, just for grins, I'm gonna call it my best offer. And the only time, when you are the listing agent, there's a really cool option for multiple offer situations, and I will show you that. All right. All right. Give me your address again, please. 313?
Yeah. Winfield Estates Drive.
Oops.
It's WYM. Is that why it's not populating it? It's
Could
WYM.
be, because I didn't do that.
There you go.
Ta-ta. All right, now it calls for the parties. And I want you to notice to me, it's very similar to the green sheet. You start off, the same factoids they want to know. Who's the buyer, who's the seller? We already know who the buyer is, it's Natali. And remember anything that has the red asterisk, you gotta do. And if you don't, you can skip it. Now this is, all right, of course she's pre-approved. When I show you the listing, associate's name, it's the agent's name. Why did they name it associates? I don't know, because we're all Keller Williams associates. But anyway, we're gonna say, the listing agent is, in this case, Betty Boop. All right, terms. You need to go left to right. Let's try this. Nope, I can't even put anything in here. I have to, cash is the down payment. So let's say, because remember Metali's is $4 million. Then there we go. So they're offering 3.9. Did you see how that worked?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, this is an option. I could just type in, okay, the earnest money is, dang, $3,000?
30,000 or 40,000.
But if you know that you're doing I'm doing 1%, it'll calculate it for you.
There you go.
You do not have to do that. You can just put the amount in, okay? It's just a little step saver. We do not do option fees, Rawls Group, but they do in Texas. Okay. Termination option, that's the due diligence. Again, terminology. Anyway, so, and I'll create a cheat sheet. Termination option equals due diligence. So I'm gonna put 10 days. Seller will contribute blank to a residential service contract. What do you think that is?
So was that? No, that's
Take a
the last
guess. What?
Closing costs.
one. No.
No, closing cost is next. It's a home warranty.
What?
I know, it's crazy. Seller will contribute now, and they call it settlement costs rather than closing costs. I'm just throwing in numbers here. Now, agent analysis. This, again, makes more sense when you're the listing agent, so I'll demonstrate it there, but you can say pros, cons, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I've created an offer, and then you're just, note, we're all still doing green sheets currently, because what I'm putting in here doesn't come through to Ellie yet. So please don't do this yet. Hopefully soon, green sheets, but I'm just demonstrating how it works. So then, this is once, all right, I'm gonna go back so I can, yes, all right. Notice, I'm in the offer, I'm on the offer page, the word commission is grayed out. As soon as I accept an offer, the commissions page comes to life. Whee! So now, moving left to right across the page, I click on commissions, and guess what? Everything is spelled out for me here. It shows your up to the minute capping. I'm on staff, so my cap structure is different. Here, if I wanted to make a contribution to one of these things, I could do it here, or I need to pay a contract to close. Company had that deducted. I can go up here and let's say it is a deduction, and it jumps up here. Do not get nervous about, oh my gosh, I gotta do all this tax stuff. We're working on having that auto-populate.
How
Okay?
much to withhold?
Right. Now, let me pick another one, another type. Let's say another agent in the office helped you, didn't but they covered you a weekend that you were up at Lake Lanier. So you just want to do an inside referral. This, whoops, sorry, wrong place. And I'm just going to give them $1,000. That would be nice. Guess what? It's got to be an agent in our office. So, oh, there she is. So you can't, this is only WAP agents, Okay, click. So now, and now I have this inside referral thing here. We don't have, I think, so this page is in development in that we want to have more, market center specific deductions, that sort of stuff, but this is where we're going. So notice, everything on this page was pre-populated for me, as opposed to a green sheet where I have to go. I just added one thing. But also notice how, see that red circle? Well, you can hardly tell. This is grayed out, it's because it's not functional yet. So I was just demonstrating. But it's gonna be super cool. So then there is no green sheet because you've already provided all the info. I mean, you will submit and then Ellie will. But things like pay at close, it hasn't been added yet.
That'll all be here.
Other communications that you need. Now there is here an option about adding a note to the MCA office.
So when they gave you your, like the DA, where would that go?
Well, that's a good question, whether they're gonna add it to your, opportunity or your DocuSign account. Don't know yet. TBD. But it'll be somewhere, for sure. So, give me, I'm gonna go back to a listing so I can show you the cool, groovy, multiple offer situation. Pick this one. give me some feedback about just how, I mean, are you seeing how the system works together and you just enter information one time, you answer a question only once, and then it is everywhere, like you don't have to keep filling in the binding agreement date. You don't have to keep filling in the closing date because everything's connected. That's what I'm hoping you're seeing. Anybody got any kind of feedback of?
Now on the listing that you put,
Mm-hmm.
what if it's not listed? You're the listing agent, but it's not listed. Does it matter?
Not listed because it's new construction or something like that?
Or I just sold something that was not listed, not new construction. Actually, I was starting to put it in command, but I guess I need to put it.
Everyone in a Rawls Group office, when they joined, signed an agreement in their initial paperwork saying, I will put every listing in, I will list it, even if it was sold off market, in Georgia MLS and FMLS, because Gene Rawls signed an agreement with those two multiple listing services saying all of my agents will play ball with you.
But so what do I do now?
So you actually create the listing, because I did this when I sold one of my houses. I put it all in and I put it, instantly under contract, and then I closed it the next day. Same in both places. Of course, I couldn't close it myself in FMLS. We had to, because I still had paperwork. I had the contract docs and stuff. It was just the listing part. So I went into FMLS, and this is before Bridge Interactive and FMLS Georgia MLS. I created the listings, instantly closed it. But it's so then the MLSs have that sales data, for comps. Plus FMLS, well, they wanted their fee, but they didn't get it because it was my house. So, yes, that's one of the.
But as far as this,
Now, well, let me ask you this: is it something you want to get it paid on?
okay,
Okay.
it's not my house.
So yes, no matter new construction or an off-market sale that's going to get on the market, after the fact, which is okay. Yes, you would still, because remember this, what Opportunities in Command is it wants to keep track of its agents' transactions wherever they come from. So yes, you would create an opportunity and, active, and then move it to under contract and upload the docs, submit them for review, fix any boo-boos, and
What was the part that said staging?
I'll show you. Here we go. Active. I created, actually I renamed. The Austin Command Guides came up with Texas stages for each phase, and then Pete and I have had fun changing things. So in the active phase, I haven't played with this one as much as I have the under contract phase. But anyway, so staging, showing, negotiation, but clearly you could have way more steps.
But what
and then even in the staging, I can create a checklist, and let's say set appointment with stager. Add, save, and then I'm gonna make this really dumb. Pay stager, pretending like I'm paying all the time. Okay, so just 2 stages. Well, now there are 2 steps so that I've created. So when I go back here, put her back in this. Oh, notice how it changed that. It knows that they're steps, and I could click in here and it says, oh, you need to do this and this. And you check them when you have completed. So this is the kind of groovy cool stuff where when you are not busy with clients, does not take precedence over serving your clients or finding business. You know, if you have routines, you put them in here because when you need to hire that assistant, you've got your system codified. And let's say you have the opportunity to go on a 365-day cruise around the world, and you're going to hire another agent in your office to take over your business for a year. This is how you do business. You're going to do it this way because these are the standards I've set for how I take care of my clients.
So I have a question. If you do have an assistant, how do they log in? Do they have their own login?
Currently, this is just current, in progress, only teams have admin roles logins. They're working, because of demand, they are working on adding that capability. So what agents can choose to do is share their login credentials, which is not a best practice, but we don't have a workaround today. That won't stay that way forever. They're going to, one of the reasons that they're being cautious about that is they don't want anyone to be able to get into your command account and steal your contacts or anything else. You know, they're very secure, data security conscious, and trying to build in safeguards so that if you decide to give somebody their own login, you say, okay, I want them to go this module but not this module,
Right.
that sort of thing. So that's what it's about.
So kind of like Google Sheets, like you have the option to share.
Share or not, and give edit privileges or not. Exactly. Okay. I'm gonna take this Allison Miliotis under contract, gonna go there. I'm gonna jump over to offers and add 2 offers, just a quick demonstration. I think you'll like it. Okay, who here has ever had multiple offers? Okay, yeah, okay. This is, oops. This is, okay, so I'm gonna fill out the details here. They offered today, we're closing. I'm intentionally gonna make these 2 offers not the same. Okay, here's this, the parties. Okay. The seller was Allison. Oops. And Bob Jones, yes, is pre-approved. His agent is Louisa. Yes. Let's see if I can remember. Is that right? And then I'm here. Okay, let's get to the terms. I can't remember what the sales price was, but we'll just say,
So in the cash, we put on the sales price.
nope, cash is what the down payment of the loan. It's not the way we have been doing it. You kind of got to get used to it.
Oh, yeah.
I know. Okay. Whoops. And I don't like funny numbers like that, so I'm going to say 3,100. 10, 0, 0. Strong offer. FHA financing. Okay, save. Okay, and then we got a second offer. Okay, and they will close on Brad's birthday. What? His birthday is Halloween? Ish. Okay, so this is Hank Williams, just cause. The seller is Allison. Just going straight to the asterisks. Hank is pre-qualified but not pre-approved. His agent is Kevin Probst. Terms. Okay. Alright, where's my thing? Okay, close enough. I'm gonna do round numbers, sorry.
Are you allowed to put on the percentage?
Nope, has to be, oh, well, that didn't work out. Okay, and we'll say they're age analysis, okay. Pro, nice guy. Con, low price. Oops. Long, DD, oops, D, little skin, okay, whatever. All right. So I have 2. Are you ready? I select the 2 that I want to compare in case I had 5. I click compare offers. And you have got a lovely, I didn't fill in summary, that's why there's nothing there, to show your client how they stack up, and all you did was fill in the terms. You can download it, make a print copy and show it to them. You can email them, send an email that shows this. Does this look like something that is going to set you apart as a slick professional agent? I love this. And you didn't have to create a spreadsheet, or you just filled in the terms of the offer, and the client can look themselves, and okay. Then I have to go back to offers, and I'm gonna accept the better one.
Do you have to select it?
No, apparently not. I was intentionally testing that. I didn't have to check the box. But notice that when I did, the option to accept the second offer disappeared. Now, Bob Jones has a heart attack, dies. Hank, are you still there? I can go up here and say, yes, I'm changing my response, and then I'm gonna accept this one. And you don't, so let's say you just get one offer at a time, you don't get several at once, but you don't accept it, that's when that reject button would come into play. So And because I accepted an offer, the word commissions is not grayed out, and when I put my cursor on it, it's teal. And then, you know, you check to see that all the numbers are right, make a contribution if you want, do a donation if you need to, I mean, not a donation, a deduction if you need to, and once this is ready for prime time, submit to Ellie.
And are those numbers accurate right now? Like the capping and everything?
Okay, because I'm staff, I still pay 6% royalty on any transaction I do, and this is my login. So yes, it is up to the minute on your cap status.
Oh, that's good.
This is a new thing.
Yeah, that's really good.
So even in the middle of a month, you know, if you cap during a month, and I don't know why mathematically, but you could cap on your office thing before, you know, you may have to have one more transaction. I don't know how that plays out, but,
So if I was to move all my transactions here, it would show me.
great question.
It should.
Theoretically, but I'll tell you, you know how I said this isn't ready for prime time?
Yeah.
What's not ready is taking the green sheet data and putting it in Winmore, which has been our company books, you know? And until that is worked out, I'm not positive that it would work with already closed transactions. Someday it will. Someday it will. But it might be next month or worst case November before, yes, you could bring in all your year-to-date data.
Another question. Is
Because
there-
everybody's asking about, should I just bring in everything from 2019? And yes, you can, but will this be a perfect calculation yet? I'm not sure. It
It's
will
on-
be someday.
Okay. Another question. When you're in contracts, does it have a place where you can go to calendar and just see the important dates, like binding date, finance content, like?
Well,
Because
not
that's one
expected.
thing I always like have to.
Without
I
counting.
now
always
remember,
mix it up.
it's in DocuSign.
It's in DocuSign, but not
Well-
in this. I wish all the contracts would have one tab for calendar, and each of your contracts will show today is the last day for inspection, last day for due diligence.
That's a
like,
thought.
And then you
Like have a
want,
calendar pop up.
yeah, like instead of you going to each contract when you're doing multiple deals, that's
Mm-hmm.
something would fall off.
That's cool.
Isn't it?
Hey, so here we go. Anytime you have a brilliant idea, ideas.kw.com. You log in, it's always the same login. Okay. First, you go to, okay, which of the apps is it that I want to make a suggestion or a request? And in this case, it would be opportunities, right? So first I'm going to look and see if somebody's already recommended that. So there are 392 suggestions, requests already been, and let's say, okay, I'm going to just type the word calendar.
All important dates. Okay.
All right. All right, let's change that to important dates. Okay, so first thing is you look at what's already been submitted, and let's say this is exactly what I wanted.
Yeah.
You can vote for it. The reason I'm getting the red circle is because they've already done it. Because sometimes
But how?
they go back and,
Oh, okay.
well, this isn't what you want. This is just something somebody
It
asked
already
for.
exists, so how come we can't see it?
Okay, this is,
Oh, it doesn't
Why
automatically
is it in-
populate it.
Oh, you know what? And this is not necessarily in opportunities. I think this is a contact sort of question.
Contract.
Contacts. But you're talking about contracts.
Contracts, yes.
Important dates.
For contracts. That should be like basic to a deal.
Well, you know, so you can then, since if we don't see it, you start typing or you post new idea.
Okay.
But if you wanted to, if you saw something that was like, oh yeah, I like that, you click vote. And it moves it up in the ranking and they
Got it.
deal with the ones with the most votes first.
Okay, .kw.
Okay, so I know that everybody's at a different place and does different things and has different levels of business. So I'm going to switch over to that and let's just get questions, comments. Like, okay, Lee, were you tracking? What's this? Did you learn anything new?
I'll have to start from the beginning, but I would like to do a practice one with you, meeting as the next contract and get together.
Okay, Matali?
I really liked it because I haven't been to a command class and I kind of now know how to do everything, starting with the importing contacts and then doing the rest. This seems pretty easy actually.
It's not hard.
Yeah.
Definitely not hard.
It's easy. I would say it is. I just wish the important dates is one thing I feel like I am bad at, so if it was there, it would be really good for me.
Yeah, it's a good.
I was taught by the McCartys, because that's who I came in under, that when you go binding, before doing anything else, pull up your calendar and you calculate, okay, what day, even before filling out that form, the
Right.
GAR form, important dates. Go on I create an all-day event. Smith, DD ends. Smith, AC for appraisal contingency ends. I don't even put the word ends. I just put Smith, AC, and I know that's the last day.
And you do count the day you start at. Like today would be the day one.
If you go binding today,
Yeah.
day one is tomorrow.
Okay, so see, I always get confused on that. That's why I want that automatic thing done.
There are some websites you can go to calculate for you. But yeah, the binding agreement date is day 0,
Yeah.
and
Next day.
start
Yeah.
counting. And so I put 4 days on my calendar, and I just create all-day events so that it's up at the top. Last day of due diligence, appraisal contingency, finance contingency, closing. And you could add more because now I'm starting to think more about that 3 days before closing check to make sure the CD was sent to the buyer client,
Mhm.
even if you're the listing agent.
Mhm.
Because you don't want to find out the day before closing, oh, we can't close because they didn't get their CD in time. No.
Yeah.
And even if it's not about that same time, have they wired the funds? You know, there's some things, it's just, you want to be professional. So that means you taking on, you got to do the thinking. I mean, if you want to be the professional and close on time, make a good impression on your client, turn them into raving fans so they'll give you referrals. You do the thinking, you think of all the final steps that last week. Scheduling the walkthrough. Sometimes there are receipts for work completed that have to be sent from one party to the other. Ordering the home warranty. There's really a last week before closing set of to-dos, and whether you're the buyer or the seller, if you check on the progress of them or your assistant, then you will, or your contract to close company, you just walk into closing smooth as glass.
Never.
But are you doing all that pre-closing checks? you know?
I have
And I haven't, and I've had moments of panic, you know, oh my gosh.
All of us have.
Did the client wire the funds? I don't know, because I didn't ask, you know?
But yeah, the better prepared you are.
Thank you,
But that's
Stacy.
good.
That was
Thank
good.
you, Stacy.
There's also, Stacy, in my KW when on the when you create the transactions in Outlook, there's one form with
Yeah.
the timeline that I
Right, there's a contract to close task list that Diane updated, really created it, which is fabulous. And yes,
I
we,
have built it.
absolutely. It's just a question of using it, you know? So, I know my new agents are like, what is she talking about? But,